Hey, my name is Brent here on Cloudy of the Chance of Meeples. Today on the channel, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are joined by a very special guest. We are joined by none other than Bryan Drake of the Dice Tower. How's it going, Bryan?
Doing great. I would say moderately special. I don't even know about special, more like mediocre at best, guess. But I'm glad to be here hanging out with you, talking board games and all that fun stuff tonight. So
Well,
thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Thanks for taking the time. So today we're going to be doing, I know everybody does a top 10 list at the end of the year and looks at all the games, like what are the best games of 2021? And to be honest, I can't do that.
Who would want to come up with a list like that anyways?
Yeah, not me. And you know, on the channel, and Bryan, you may not know this, but on Cloud of the Chance of Meeples, I rate my games with the probability like a forecast. So
Right.
you know, a game 9 out of 10, I would say it's 90% chance of meeples, right? So I guess this will be putting everything to the test. The top 10 games that I play this year, are they highly rated? Because in theory, they should be highly rated if I'm giving them a high rating, right? So
unless you just like punishment.
Unless I like punishment.
It's a possibility.
Very true. So I have my list of top 10 games, and I actually have the counts of how many times. Another thing, I know a lot of people in the board gaming hobby try to do 10 by 10, right? You know, 10 by 10. And if you don't know what 10 by 10 is, it's like, I'm going to try to play 10 games 10 times in a calendar year. And people outside of the hobby, it's like, how can you not do that? But then, you know,
that's what I was going to say. The first time I heard it, I was like, well, that's not hard to do at all. Then I was like, oh, this is really difficult.
This is really, really tough to play 10 games 10 times.
Yeah.
So I have my list, and I believe you have your list.
I do.
And so I know for a fact, I have no clue what's on your list, but just from chatting, I know for sure that for sure 2 of my games you will know.
Well, to give a little clarification on my list, it's more so it's not so much frequency and quality. It's mostly leaning into, man, these are the games that we played this year and just absolutely adored and loved. So if we only played it once, if we only played it 3 times, if we played it 10 times, but there are ones that were like, yeah, that's a 2021 memory for us. Boom, it was so good. So and that's kind of how I structured mine.
And that's totally fine. I'm totally game with this any which way. So do you want me to start? Do you want to start? How do you want to do this?
Let it rip.
Okay, so my number 10 game was a reprint of a Reiner Knizia game. Originally, I think it was called Times Square, and this was Royal Visit.
I haven't played this.
I don't know
what
if
is
you played
this.
This is a 2-player game. I should say I played this 21 times this year. So my number 10 is 21. So we're only
it's pretty good.
We're only going up.
I was going to say, if they go up from there, that's really good.
Yeah. So I hit my 10 by 10. So Royal Visit.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Royal Visit is a 2-player card game in which you're trying to pull like a king to your side of the board by playing cards to move either like a jester or the court or the king himself. But the king always has to stay in between the court pieces.
Gotcha.
Yellow reprinted it. It's got a really, really nice appeal to it. The board,
that sounds cool.
The board is like it's a rollout playmat, and so
I like those kind of things. So
yeah,
it's a small box.
It's a small box. Like it's the same size as Lost Cities, which again is another Reiner Knizia. So yeah, we got this earlier at the beginning of the year, and me and Nicole, we just played a boatload of this. So that's my number 10. Royal Visit.
For sure. So in that same vein, mine is going to be it's a game that was on our list of games that came out last year, but we played the mess out of this game this year, and that is a flip and write. Now, you know my style. I actually like heavy, deep Euros as well, but this is a flip and write game, and it's Trails of Takana, and is a phenomenal flip and write game. Flip and write. I should say I'm saying that right. So good, so simple. You are basically exploring, trying to get relics and treasures, but you're flipping 2 cards and you're drawing a line between the 2 types of terrain. So it might be water and mountain, and you have to find it on your board and draw. You can connect 2 that are already connected to your strip, or you can connect them elsewhere. At the end of it, you're collecting points based on, kind of how well you've done. Here's what's the beautiful thing about it. Everyone has the exact same map and gets It's the exact same information every time, and yet you look at someone's map at the end and you go, how in the world did y'all not just do the same thing? So
Yeah.
fun game. Really, really, it's easy to teach to new people too, who not necessarily into hobby gaming, quote unquote, but this is a great one to go, hey, you played XYZ, let's try this. So
Yeah.
this Trails of Takana is my number 10. It's fantastic.
Yes, I do enjoy that game as well. So moving on, number 9, beating
I'm looking
Royal
at mine right now.
beating Royal Visit out by 1. I played this game 22 times. I think most of it actually was with my kids. I actually played this over Zoom. I did everything. I did all the dice rolling, and that is King of Tokyo.
Okay, I was gonna say Decrypto, so I thought you were gonna say it. Okay,
Yes,
King
no,
of Tokyo. Yes,
we did play Decrypto last year a bunch over Zoom and
Yeah.
whatnot, FaceTime. But no, King of Tokyo, my
So
kids
good.
just love just chucking dice. Like there's just something about it, kind of like you were saying, Trails of Takana, getting
Mhm.
people who aren't into the hobby. They know Yahtzee, throwing dice up
Plus
to
the
2
character art.
rerolls. Yeah, and I have the first edition.
Yeah, that's the one I had. Actually, I don't have the newer. It's still a
I
yellow, isn't it? Or
Yeah, it's still yellow.
Yeah.
And to be honest, this is the better edition.
Yeah, it's so great.
It has the Kraken in it. I don't know. I love the artwork much more.
That's right. Yeah, that's the
So-
one I have. Was the one with the Kraken, because
Yeah.
they've done releases later where it was like Cthulhu and Godzilla and
Mhm.
stuff like that. I don't know if they got Godzilla, but I know they did Cthulhu. But you're right. It's a perfect game to go, hey, come play this, and everybody likes it. I've never seen anybody just be like, well, I hate that game.
Yeah. What, you don't like fun? No problem.
Yeah. Oh, I was not aware that you. No, you didn't like fun. What's wrong with you? That's a good pick. So I'm gonna go actually with, I'm looking around, make sure I don't miss anything, because I switched. Oh, yeah, that's where I'm at. So this one is a party game, and I know that's 2 in a row that I've said are
Mhm.
obviously, but the one benefit that we have where we are is that we have almost 2 completely different gaming groups. One will play anything but likes party games. The other ones will play anything but likes heavier games. Anyway, so this game came out this year actually, and we
Okay.
have played it with so many people so many times. It's called So Clover. It's a party game. It's by Repos Productions, but think just one, but
Yep.
you have these 4 clovers out there, or I should say 1 clover with 4 sides. You get 4 cards, 2, 4, 6. So you get 8 cards. Man, I'm really doing a bad job describing this, but they have a word on them, right? And
Right.
so you have cards here, and then a space. And your job is to write a word that will get everybody to guess which 2 words go in those slots. So it's a clover 1, 2, 3, 4. You do this 4 times. You essentially have 8 cards. They see the 8 cards. You add a 9th one, and then you're mixing them all around, trying to go, okay, which card did they mean for the word barnacle? Would it be sea salty or something? Anyway, I'm really doing a bad job describing, but it's one of the most fun party games, because you look at it and it's one of those ones you go, oh, they're going to know exactly what I meant, and they have no clue what you meant, or vice versa. You're
Right.
like, this is terrible, I have no clue, and they're like, oh, it's obviously Hogwarts. You're like, oh, you got it.
Yeah. I love those moments. I haven't played So Clover, but
Have you played just one?
I haven't played either of them. No.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I know
both of them are great for that.
the last 2 years playing a party game for us is like, what's
That's
a party
true.
game,
Yeah.
right? What's a party
Exactly.
game? But I've been wanting to play that.
This is one that we were able to teach our parents and as well too. So it was like it our daughters even kind of got into it. So the age range is really wide on this, which is what I like too, for especially like you said, with the last couple of years, depending on who you're playing with, because you may be playing with the same game group for the last 2 years, or you may be able to pull some other people in depending on kind of your area and stuff like that. But yeah, this was a good one to introduce anybody to as well.
So Clover, nice. Sweet. So number 8, this is a game I actually gave my wife for Christmas. It was kind of like a gift that I wanted myself, but I knew she wanted,
Right.
so then I could like justify buying it, because it's not enough. It's not
I
another
did that
game
with
for
Eldritch
me,
Horror.
right? It's not a game for me. It's a gift for you.
No. This is selfless,
Yeah.
unadulterated love right here. This is
Yeah.
for you.
So this is my wife is so good with words and can speak way more eloquently than I can, and and so she loved the game Letter Tycoon right here.
I see it up there. I have not seen this. Tell me about it.
This game is like I absolutely love this game. Played it 24 times. have not one. Maybe half. Like I got a bad winning percentage. I should say
Right.
this in general. I got a bad winning percentage in board gaming in general. I play.
I know one
to
that
have
you don't
fun.
have a bad one at.
It might come up, and I might surprise you on that one. Okay, so Letter Tycoon. I absolutely love this game. I'm not a fan of Scrabble because
Right.
you always have like
Same.
3-letter words, right? Not. I should say this is the first printing of it, and they have a new printing coming out, and
Right.
it doesn't look as good. Like this game,
I'm saying that looks good. I saw it as soon as we started recording. That's cool.
like it's got that cool artwork. Anyways,
Flip it to the back. Let me see it real quick. The back of it. So it's card based, but you're still doing words. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So you have a hand of like 7 cards, and then a community hand of 3. So on your turn, you make a word out of maximum 10 letters.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Depending on how long your word is, you gain money. So on like a 3-letter
Nice.
word, you gain $1, and then for balancing things, after a 6-letter word, you get $4 plus a stock, which stocks aren't used.
Just right up my alley. Yeah.
Stocks aren't used to buy.
I'm literally looking to buy this game right now. Sorry, go ahead.
So you don't use stocks.
Sorry, you sold me.
You don't use stocks to buy anything. It's just a balancing mechanism. Because if a first person goes and does like a 10-letter word, they're getting tons and tons of money, and then they'll just wipe out. But anyways, so
Sure.
after you've made your word, you can then buy a patent out of one of the letters that you have used.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you spell the word queen, for example,
right,
you could buy the Q, U, E, or the N.
Right.
And then they all have different, like the E is I believe the most expensive. It costs you $10. So then when you buy the patent for that, everybody else around the table for the rest of the game, whenever they use an E, you get $1 for every E they use.
Fantastic.
So I love it. And then it has like the B and the K and the J and the Z and the X. A few letters have like special abilities. And I think they're working on maybe some unbalanced in that, because like the B is double, earn double if you end and begin your word with a vowel.
Right.
And then the Q isn't a special ability, but you just gain double for that one. So really, if you could spell like the word like inquire.
Right.
You could like
vowels and that, right?
Yeah. So, and that would be like what, a 6-letter word. So you gain like $4 plus 2 stocks times 2. So you'd have like
good.
So you'd have like huge turns. But I'm not good at word games, but man, I love this game. I have so much fun with this game. And Nicole loves it because she loves making words and stuff, but I'm not good at that. But I love it because, well, okay, then I'm just going to buy certain letters.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could win like that.
Use those, and I make money that way. So
that's
Letter
cool.
Tycoon. I love that game. It's amazing.
It's 100% on my list right now. I literally just went to put, not on the list that we're talking about, but on the list of games to buy now. So you've made a sale literally
if
here.
If you can find this version, do it. Like the artwork has all these like industrial machines and stuff like that. I think
that's what looks cool.
The reprint, I think, is just all cartoony letters. I just don't like it.
that looks way better. Why would you do that? Why would you change it up like that? Sorry. This next one is a split for me. Actually, it's tied between 2 games. In fact, I did this as a video on the Dice Tower of these 2 games versus each other, and at the end of it, I was still very, very torn. I did finally make a call, but both of these games are workplace. No, that's not necessarily true. They're resource management games that involve some interesting mechanics, and this is Dice Hospital and Chocolate Factory. It's the same designer, same crew, I should say. Alley Cat, both games are they have a very similar feel in the sense that they do feel like multiplayer solitaire, but we like that because, especially when playing 2-player, there's no cutthroat aspects of it. It's very straightforward, and then what I love about it is you're building your engine, you're setting your chocolate factory up the way you want it to go, and you're running chocolate through. Not to mention you have these great components where you have an actual conveyor belt where at the beginning of your turn you have a chocolate bean here, a cocoa bean that goes here. The next turn it moves through, and then whatever machines you have right above it and below it you can use, and then as it moves you can keep refining it. I've not seen a game that does multiple refinings of resources that well, except maybe the Colonist, but then you're talking 6 to 8 hours of an investment. Also great game, but Chocolate Factory, and then Dice Hospital works in a similar vein that you're trying to heal Dice people, right? You want to make
Right.
sure that they don't die. You want to kick them out just in time to where you get money and stuff like that. It's a really, really good game, really well made. And so if you're into, I don't know, I never know how to talk about weight, but midweight,
Mhm.
it's not lightweight, but it's not midweight, but it's not heavy. It's definitely not heavyweight. But if you're in that kind of light midweight, Euro-y feel with a great resource management, either one of these is good. I picked up Chocolate Factory first, but
Yep.
I've been playing Dice Hospital more, so both of these have hit our table quite a lot this year. I don't have an exact count because I just don't. But now I feel bad. I was like, oh, I should have counted, but but those are both great games. Either one is good, and I think they're still both available. I actually traded to get Chocolate Factory, so it may not be available right now. But either
Okay.
way, if
I
you
know
get your
that I
hands on
think
it.
there's before I move into my next one, I know that Dice Hospital has a sequel, but it's like
Yeah,
an amusement
Dice
park or
Amusement
something.
Park. Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I saw that today. I want to check that out, but I haven't
so
played it.
so that's your number 8. My number
Mhm.
7. This is a game which I know you absolutely adore this game, and I want the expansions. I haven't picked them up yet. You may have them, but you're building your own little dinosaur park, and it's a small little
Oh
game
yeah,
that takes about 10 minutes.
absolutely.
Draptosaurus.
This was on my list. You got me. This is on my list. It's,
I
the
played this.
perfect game.
I played this 25 times, and man, like, there's just something about.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. To me, they could have more boards. Like, and
I
I don't know.
agree.
I don't know what that would look like. I know with the 2 aerial show and the marina,
I haven't played those yet,
I haven't
so I'm
either.
not sure.
So
Yeah.
it has like pterodactyls, and then it has plesiosaurus, I think it's called.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'm no archaeologist.
One's
But
up top in the air and one's in the bottom in the water or something like that.
yeah, so it brings more in that. But I don't know. I play this with my kids. My daughter's really digging it. For a while, my son's like, I don't like dinosaurs. I'm like, you're 8 years
Who
old.
doesn't like dinosaurs? No, I'm
Yeah,
just
you're
kidding.
8. How do you not like dinosaurs? But
Exactly.
he's come around, and he likes this game a little bit more. But Draptosaurus,
It's so good.
it's seriously, it was on my list for, I made like a top 10 Christmas gift list, and they were
Yeah,
not in any order, but Draptosaurus was number 1 because like even at that price point, it's like what 20, probably in
yeah,
Canada, it's like
if that.
$25 maybe. For you guys in the States, it's cheaper, but it's like, it's just amazing. So
It really
Draptosaurus.
is. I'm gonna go ahead and make this a crossover because it was on my list, and like I said, I don't have mine in a particular order,
Mhm.
but this one is definitely on my list. So we'll go ahead and make it my number 7 as well because Draftosaurus, like you said, it is a perfect teaching game too. It's
Mhm.
one of those ones where you can just sit people down and say, "Hey, look, here's what this board does. We're gonna play it a couple times. You're gonna get dinosaurs. You put them on the board.
Yep.
So easy to teach, so easy to master. And again, like the Trails of Takana game we were talking about, everybody has the same information. You have the same board, right? And
Yep.
yet, depending on what you draft, people are going to come up with hugely different combinations. But again, it's we've probably played this game between the last 2-3 years now. I guess 2 years now,
Mhm.
50 times easily,
Wow.
at least 50 times. It's just one of those games where we'll play it and we'll play it back. We always play both sides of the map, but we always do 1 and 2 and then count our scores total. But
Add your score, yeah.
it's so good.
And yeah, it's so good. But
And it's the
so
only game I have a percentage of winnings over losing. Just saying,
I
I
probably
rarely lose
don't.
this game.
And I
It's the only
think
one.
I think the highest score in the game, me and my buddy were talking about it, and we're like analyzing, like, well, if you do this,
Yeah,
and
what
you get
is
all
it?
tier. I want to say it was 48. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense
I
because
think it's
I
48.
know it's 12 and 12 for the 2 areas, right? 12 for the one and 12 for another.
And then if you
if
have like
you do pairs,
yeah, I don't know what it was. We
yeah,
were
I think
seriously
it's
like
probably
putting them
right.
on there.
Plus T-Rexes.
Yeah, and we were over analyzing this game, which doesn't need to be analyzed that much. But
This is
so
serious business. We've got to get down to it.
sweet. Number 6, played this one 27 times. Played this a bunch actually on the weekend, and taught my mother-in-law. This is a nice, light little card game that it's also a drafting game, and it reminds me of Racco. And I played Racco growing up, which is probably like one of the, you're trying to put numbers in order from like
Oh yeah, okay.
Racco. Okay, super old. This is Autonomy.
You were telling me about this.
And
at
this
one
is
point.
Draftosaurus. No, sorry, not Draftosaurus. Panosaurus.
Mhm.
Just a light drafting game, and you could hate drafting this game, but every time, I just can't. Like I'm just trying
I
to
can't bring
get
myself to hate.
I can't I'm just not looking at everybody else's. Like I'm just
Right.
super worried about my own stuff. Kind of like in Sagrada. Like I can't hate Traptosaurus
Yes,
because
you
I
can't
got my own.
exactly.
I got my own puzzle to mess
If you
around with.
do, you will totally lose in Sagrada, especially.
Yeah, I just don't think you can do it. But Autonomy, I love this game. 27 plays this year. I got it, I think, in the summer. So I've had 27 plays in less than 6 months.
That's
But
good.
again, it's some of these small games, they just hit the table more and more because
The ease
time.
of setup is one thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that's mine. Autonomy, number 6.
My number 6 is a game I picked up this year, and I picked it up through a trade again. Because it wasn't available, but I do have on good authority that it's about to get released. I believe in a either big box edition or a total remake. And this is Stockpile. Stockpile is a fantastic stock market manipulation game, but when you hear that, don't run screaming for the hills of like, oh my gosh, it's like Brass or something like that. That's a heavy economic game. It has the idea of you're buying shares, but it's done in a randomized fashion that won't make people mad who don't like randomness. You do take stock cards and then benefit cards and bonus cards. You shuffle some up, you deal them out into however many piles per player, right? So if it's 4 people playing, there's a set number of piles that get put out there. And then you bid on those piles, and whatever you get in those piles, it might be shares of a certain stock on the board. It might be benefits of, you can raise or lower the value of a stock. And then then when that happens, everyone has a little piece of information. You know that one stock's going to do something, but you're the only one that knows that. And then there's one open piece of information. So it's basically a game of insider trading is what it says on the box. And so you can manipulate the market, sell, you can fake people and fake them out like, oh, why is he selling? Do I need to get out of here before this stock tanks? It's a fun game it's again easy to teach, but it's got a lot of depth for something that you can pick up relatively quickly because especially there's 2 boards on the main game of a basic, which all the stocks are the same value, and on the back, different ones are different prices based on this one only has 3, like one's a more volatile stock, I guess, but. Man, it's good. It's such a good game. And the expansions, they're right up there. I picked them up at Gen Con, actually, from the designer. They have other characters and other secret or personal player powers and things like that. But if you're into any sort of economic game that you don't want it to be like hair pulling, Stockpile is a fantastic game to pick up.
Stockpile. I've seen Stockpile. I've never played it. But I do like kind of the stock market type stuff like Raccoon Tycoon. I love that game. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check out Stockpile for sure. Moving along, this game I played 33 times, and I played it when I was a little boy, much like my son, and I think that's why he loves it so much. This is an old game, and that is Labyrinth.
Okay, yeah. Which version are you playing now? The original?
Yeah, we're just playing the original right here.
I was about to say it should. I thought I saw it.
Yeah. Just the original. I remember being in elementary school and my teacher having this game, and I was like, well, "This is really cool." I'm playing it at school, and then I think we just picked it up. I think it was just this year, even, or maybe it was last year. Probably last year. I don't know. We played this.
It was on sale this year at a lot of places. That version of it, like, or the kind of the classic throwback. But I've never played it. Actually, never played it. I don't know how that's possible.
It can drag out. It could, like if you're going into the Labyrinth, like looking to have a barn burner a brain burner and be like, I'm gonna like AP this out to death.
Right.
No one's gonna have fun at the table.
Yeah, it's like, what are you even doing? Get out.
So I don't know. My kids like it. My daughter's starting to get into it more and more. She's played it a bunch, but as she gets older, she's just starting to see things more and more. My son beats me all the time in this game. Like, So
I don't even try anymore. He's just gonna kill us at it.
No, I try. I'm just, he can see things. He's like, oh, okay. It's like, I don't know. I think that's what happens. Your kids get smarter than you are, younger, faster. I don't know. But
sure.
Number 5, 33 plays, Labyrinth.
Good stuff. This one is also a little bit of a mixture of picks because all 3 are good. All 3 have merit. And that would be, did I say 3? I mean 2. Well, 2 or 3 actually, but it's Zolkin is a fantastic game. TZOLK. Yeah. There's a dash up there. IN. Teotihuacan and then Takana. All 3 of these T games are just, and Taiwan Tensu is good too, but we didn't play it as much this year. Yeah, and there's it's a Babylon one, I believe. But anyway, this but let me focus on the one we played the most this year, and it's going to be a flip between Teotihuacan and Zolkin. But I'm going to go ahead and say pick up Zolkin because it's the one I like better of
Okay.
the 4 or 5 there are.
Yep.
Zolkin is a beautiful worker placement game. Now you want to talk about, though, it does get a little bit heavy on thinking, okay, wait a minute, because it's a calendar-based game, Mayan calendar game.
Yep.
So you are making decisions. You can only place your workers based on what's available. And then the giant, cog in the middle will spin, which will cause all the other cogs to spin. Yeah. And so where you are will move and get better and better and better as you wait. But then again, if on your turn you can't place somebody, you have to pull back. So you have to kind of do this juggling act of, okay, I'm gonna let this meeple ride until he gets to that spot, and then I'm gonna pull him off so I can get this benefit. Because you don't ever lose anything when you pull off, you only gain stuff. But really, really, really solid worker placement game with a fantastic twist of that twisting time delay. And so Zolkin is, again, get your hands on it. It's just a classic. It's just an instant classic, pretty much. A couple years old now, but really good.
I know I've seen it a few times, and that mechanism of like those cogs, those gears that move together. I think that's super, super cool. It looks great. And it's definitely on my list of one to check out.
Yeah, it's a blast.
So moving forward, number 4, 40 plays.
Wait, 4 of 40. I feel like you did that on purpose.
No, I didn't actually play it. I didn't do that on purpose. This game, you mentioned already. I've taught this. I've done this over Zoom, up to like 35 people. My sister is in education. She printed off the maps for her whole class and play, and that is Trails of Takana. This game is so much fun. It just teaches networking, like,
That's right. It does. It really does.
You try to stay kind of close or kind of couple places on the map, and then at the end, all of a sudden you're like connecting this and that's connecting that and this, and then you can have some pretty cool turns. And I don't know, it's just such a chill game. Trails of Takana, my number 4.
Well, those combos are so good, when in one turn you end up getting, here's a bonus move and a bonus move and a bonus move based on how you've done it. It's just hard to beat satisfying. That. Yeah, absolutely. So my number 4 is a game that we just relatively recently picked this up, but I can tell already based on how it does, it's a unique game. That is Micro Macro. This is a game in which you are solving a mystery. To clarify or preface, I guess, we have always loved time stories and the unlock games and all the kind of that sort of stuff where you're solving a mystery or doing something. And so any kind of new innovation is on there. Now, another one, a runner-up that didn't make the list, but it's really close, is Crime Zoom. But anyway, we're always all about those kind of things. But Micro Macro is such an interesting idea. As you have this big paper map, no joke, it's probably 4 feet wide by 3 feet tall. And it's like Where's Waldo art. It's very small, a lot of things going on in this micro city. And, it comes with a magnifying glass. We went and bought a big magnifying glass from like TJ Maxx or one of those places so we could look closer. And what you do is you get there's several decks of cards in there with different cases. And it'll say, find out who, poisoned this person or whatever. Now, it's really cutesy art. So it's kind of dark at the same time that it's really cutesy. But and you're looking really close. There's the victim. I found the victim. It'll say, okay, now what happened? Or how were they poisoned, etc. And you kind of have to backtrack because even though it's a lot of art, you'll see that same character as their story progresses moving across the map, and you kind of have to backtrack it back and go, okay, it was on this square, this person did it and they escaped this way. It's just so cool because it's a different way to do a mystery game, and we're all about mystery games and things like that. So Micro Macro, get your hands on it. It's a really fun one to play.
It's on my list. Nicole and I have seen this and we're like, man, that looks a lot of fun. And they just came out with a new one,
Full House or something like that.
Full House. And I like the unlocking.
Everywhere you look. I'm sorry. That was Full House.
You said the unlock I actually picked up for our kids. They have unlock for kids. So I'm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna break that open over these Christmas holidays.
I love those games.
So I think there's 3, no app needed. So then it's kind of just like.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, their whole thing is getting away from screen time and this and that. So I don't know. Hopefully that is good. So
that is a good idea. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So number 3, this game came out. I don't know when it was. This is called the first legacy game for kids, and it's a smaller game box, and it is in which it's a cooperative game. You open about 10 envelopes. and you are defending your school from a horde of zombies. And this is Zombie Kids
Okay, I'm looking this up right now. I don't
Evolution.
know how I missed it. I didn't know this was a thing. Like, that's great.
It's a small little box. I hope I won't spoil it. Yeah, and you know what? To be honest, it's super light. It's super samey.
Right.
But I should say that it's super samey for people who are in the board gaming hobby that have played games tons, right?
But you're looking for your kids, yeah.
But for
exactly.
kids, it's amazing. And games can last. You can lose on the first 3 turns, but then you're like, oh man, let's just restart.
Right.
And I kid you not, you start opening up envelopes. I think there's like 10 of them, and there's a sticker track on the back of the rule book. And if your kids are anything like my kids, it's like, hey, you do this, you get a sticker. They're like, sign me up, sign me up, you know. And they're just gonna do it again and again and again. I played this 53 times.
Nice. So you can play that much.
Yeah. I will say this. There is a way to play the game. I don't want to spoil anything. There's a way to play the game after you finish the campaign. It's not a strong way to play. At the same time, on Scorpion Masquerade's website, they're adding more challenges or more scenarios.
Nice.
So that you can play it a little bit different. So yeah, Zombie Kids played that one, Evolution, I should say, 53 times this year.
Nice. That's a solid. I'm gonna have to check that out then, because there's nothing more rewarding than when your kid really enjoys a game. Like even if it's not when you like to see them be like, oh, can we play this again? That's a blast, especially as parents. But good choice. I like that. No, what number are we on? Are we on 3?
3. Yep.
Okay. So mine is, you can see it right over my head. Right. Let's see if I can point my finger the right direction. No, right here. This game right here. This is WWE Royal Rumble, the card game. Is it a good game? Who knows? It's just a blast. I love it because I'm a nostalgic. I almost wore a WWE hat, but it was my nostalgic, wrestling fan as a kid. You guys had Stampede Wrestling up there and all that sort of stuff as kids.
Hey, wait. I went to Monday Night Raw.
There you go. Okay.
When I lived in Nashville, I went to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels is still my favorite.
It's amazing, right?
Entertainer. I have fond memories of watching wrestling and watching WrestleMania with my dad.
See, it brings people together.
Yeah, and so, But anyways, go ahead.
So the game is silly fun. It's a card game in which you get a hand of cards, and you can do a strike, you can do a hold, but it's timing based. So the person with the highest speed, everybody picks which cards they're going to play. Like I have an attack and I have a modifier, and then you aim it at somebody, but you have it face down. So everybody can be like, well, we're going to aim at Sting, right? And then everybody flips their cards up. And you might be aiming at somebody, they might be aiming at you, and vice versa. Everybody flips their cards up, and it's based on the speed of the attack, and then they start resolving. And because it's a Royal Rumble, you're not playing as your character. You're playing as kind of a disembodied character playing as these characters. So when they get thrown out, you just get another card and come right back in. You can play with all 30 legends if you want, but it's such a blast. We did a live playthrough earlier in January with this, and just we had face paint, and I did Dusty Rhodes the entire time. We had Bret Hart and then Sting, and it was tremendous. Macho Man. It was it was tremendous. But it's a silly, fast paced card game that can actually last a little while depending on how you set it up. But it's nothing but laughs the entire time, basically, for us in our group.
It's just full nostalgia. You just have those flooded memories of these athletes. Let's call them athletes. Let's not call them wrestlers.
Sure.
you just have this nostalgia memory flood bank of oh man, I remember this match and this match.
Yep,
and stuff like that.
For sure.
So, very cool. I remember you saying you went to WrestleMania and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's right, we did. That's right. I forgot about that. We went this year. It was
very cool.
It was pretty wild. It was rainy the whole time.
Better than snow that I'm dealing with now. It's like minus 30 with the wind chill. It's cold.
Yeah, we get a flurry and road shut down here, basically. So we're not doing that.
No. So my number 2 game, this was 57 times, and actually it was played multiple times this past weekend, and my kids have done a resurgence of this one, and it is the sequel to Zombie Kids, and it is Zombie Teens.
Oh, that's funny.
Evolution.
They're growing up.
So, but they're not. I got both these games this year, and
Okay.
this is a little bit of a bigger box.
Oh yeah, it is.
And it's just a pick up and deliver game. You got like 4 quadrants. You're trying to get a crate from each of the 4 quadrants into the center square, and you have to make a chain to do that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then on each turn, you know, the zombie attacks, and then your characters have special abilities or whatever. And again, it's another legacy style game.
Sure.
And so out of the 57 plays, I don't know how many it took to actually get through the game. Maybe about 40.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
35 to 40. So
That's
it's
not
not
bad. No.
no, it's not a crazy amount.
Especially when it's quick too, and you can kind of play.
This one's a little bit longer, but this one has a better way to play the game after you finish your campaign.
Oh, that's good. So
I don't want to say
becomes
that. Like yeah. And then you can mix the two. So
you can use characters from both.
Yeah, you can use characters and some of the power-ups from both and this and that. So Zombie Teens Evolution, number 50. That was my number 2. I played it 57 times. So together the games cost me, I don't know, American pricing, I don't know what that would be, but for us it was probably maybe $50 combined.
No, that's not bad at all.
So
that's not bad at all.
Over 100 plays, you know, like.
Yeah, that's a lot of content for that price.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, and some of the challenges we haven't even finished in them.
That's even better then. So I need to look that up, because again, Harper's at that age where she really wants to play kind of those heavier and heavier games, but we also want to figure out a way to where she enjoys it while we're enjoying it at the same time, you know, in together and stuff. So it's not like a lecture at that point. For you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But good stuff. My number 2 is Isle of Cats, and this is a polyomino laying game in which I don't actually love cats, so it's ironic when I say it a lot, you know. But we have a cat, but it's more of a tenant here. It's kind of like not, so it's our pet, but it's really the relationship's like he just kind of chills here, and you know, when he wants to leave, he leaves and stuff like that. But but Isle of Cats is a polyomino laying game, and it's got 2 versions too. You've got the main version and then the family version. Simplified, so Harper's been playing with that with us, but the main version of the game is just legit. It's a really good brain burner of a game of okay, I can get 9 points if I do this, but I'm going to lose 15 if I'm not careful and cover this. So you have to thinking every single time you pull a cat or think about grabbing a cat, you've got to think about it, the kind of the risk and reward. And it seems simple because it is a polyomino game. And I say that not in a pejorative way, but what I mean is most polyomino games are quick. Let's lay this out here, get this benefit and move on. This one is a little bit heavier in the sense of what you're doing. You're bidding for cats, you're putting them out there. You know, not bidding necessarily. You're drafting cards. Sorry, you're drafting cards, but you're getting those cats out there, and hopefully you can get this one, but you really need the next one too. So hopefully nobody else takes that one. And a lot of thinking there and building up those combos. But Isle of Cats is a really good polyomino. I forgot what it's called, even though I just said it. Polyomino laying game. So Isle of Cats, my number 2, and Carla's number. She'd probably say number 1, but Isle of Cats.
You know what? I've seen this game.
I don't love cats.
I don't love cats either. I'm allergic to cats, so we don't have any cats.
Exactly. Same.
I've seen this game, and it just doesn't draw me in much like other games.
I remember you said that.
and to be honest, like the cats are different colors, and they're all like freaky looking.
They are weird cats. They're not normal
weird
cats.
They're
mystical cats.
Yeah. So
not Thundercats. Don't be confused. Okay, they're not Thundercats.
Lino's not in there.
No, not at all.
They should do that. They should
really
get a retheming of this and have like
Lion-O, just like coming in with the sword,
or like contorted, like laying there, so the polyomino shape is not. Anyway.
That's what I want. I want the Thundercats version of this.
So my number 1. This is probably not going to shock anybody on the channel, or you for that matter. I played this game so much in 2020. I played this game 100 times in 2020. I did not hit that number this year.
You did a 10 by 10 with one game.
Yes, I did a 10 by 10 last year with one game. This year, I only hit 73 plays. And with
slacking.
I know, with the expansions coming out next year, I can probably, depending on when I get it, I could see it probably getting another 75 plays. This is Everdell. I have played this game so much. Nicole and I absolutely love Everdell. out of all my rankings, this is like my only 100%, only 10 out of 10. My kids always joke, Dad, what's your favorite game besides Everdell? And
Yeah, I was going to say.
it's like Everdell, the rest of all gaming. Like, I don't even know what the next game is for me. There's just something about this game. I'm not an Animal fan, but the artwork in this game is
so good,
truly amazing. Andrew Bosley is an amazing artist. I don't know. It's just there's just so much about Everdell that I love. Like, I've played with Spirecrest, whatever. I got I got it all here. And Nicole and I did like a Belfair circuit and a Pearlbrook circuit and the Spirecrest circuit. So we started on opposite ends of player powers and then moved towards the middle and then crossed. We messed up a little bit, but we then crossed. So we played 15 games, the best out of 15. And
right.
I think Belfair, I was up like seven games to 4, and she ran the table and won 4 straight and won 8-7. And then in Pearlbrook, she was up like 7-3, and I ran the table and I won 5 in a row. And then we won't talk about Spirecrest and how bad I did on that one, because she beat
Do you
me.
mix all three?
She beat me 10 out of 15 times on Spirecrest. Like, I got absolutely
pretty shellacked.
hosed.
Yeah.
I got hosed. I've mixed them all one time.
Yeah.
And it made like a ridiculously long game. Like, for me,
well, not
I
just
know
length,
you
but
said
also
that
the creep and everything like that they can have. Yeah.
You've said just mix them all, but
Yeah, just throw them out there.
I won't agree with you on that one. Like, Pearlbrook, for the 3-player that we play, Pearlbrook is like 2.25 hours. And
Yeah.
my sweet spot on, I've said this many times on the channel, 30 to 60 minutes. Like, I don't have a long attention span. I have very few games that I will want to play longer than an hour. Very few. Raccoon Tycoon's one of them. Shadows of Camelot's one of them. Everdell is one of them. That's a very, very small list, but I can play Everdell for 2 hours and then, I kid you not, take a different extension out and then restart it and play another game.
That is what's good about the 3 expansions. Well, Belfair more so is kind of a classic, almost like shot in the arm expansion, whereas the other 2 are, that whole extra content stuff. So, yeah, it is just so good at that, at doing that. And in the art, like you said, I love the little moments in the art where the cards that sync up with the characters, like the location, the character, you'll see that character in the location.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff's just brilliant. Like grid art direction that you don't see done that often, really. So all that kind of stuff is just makes it such a winner of a game. But fun game. We love this game just a whole ton.
Yeah. With the expansions, Mistwood and New Leaf next year, I'm like,
yeah, so I'm excited about that.
I'm beside myself on that. I've spent far too much money. If on all my games like Everdell, I've thrown like everything. My kids aren't going to college. Like, they're gonna have to work for their first car. Like,
no,
everything.
My dad said something about this cardboard tree all the time growing up. We didn't know he really meant it.
I got the wooden tree now, and
oh, nice. That's it. Well, it makes sense because our cardboard tree is falling apart from where we take it together and put it apart so many times.
Yeah. So my number 1 game I played in 2021, it makes sense. 10 out of 10.
Absolutely.
Everdell.
Couple of honorable mentions for me really quickly would be, first and foremost would be Merv is a fantastic heavier Euro right there. Merv is a great, I called it instant classic when I reviewed it. Lost Cities, the dice game, is a fantastically simple roll and write. One or two more honorable mentions here because I'm going to get to the final one. Red Cathedral and Concordia. We played them both on this. We got them both the same time last year, and they are both. Concordia is a classic. Red Cathedral, I saw someone say it was dull today, and I had the urge to be like, "Are you kidding me right now? Get out of here!" But both really good games. But anyway, my number 1 is still the game that I adore the most of anything, and we have played this game more than anything ever, and it got new life for us this year because Mansions of Madness is what it is. By the way, Mansions of Madness is not getting any more content from Fantasy Flight, but a friend of mine told me that there is a website where you can play. Fan made sounds so like a slap. That fan made, but like people like community made missions. And I got on there, I thought, well, how can that actually be? We logged in and we played a couple. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It's like hundreds and hundreds of different ones, but they're rated, and you can play ones that have a 5-star rating that add extra content, puzzles, and all this sort of stuff. But if you like Mansions of Madness, it is such a great game anyway. If you like the mythos, if you don't like the mythos, where'd it go? Journeys to Middle Earth is for you if you don't like the Mythos. But Journeys to Middle Earth is great too. But Mansions of Madness will always probably be the game we hit the table with most, followed by Scythe and Western Legends probably too. But anyway, Mansions of Madness, if you're a fan of that, definitely try out these fan-made expansions that are on. I can't remember the name of it. You can look it up and find it. If I think about it, I'll send it to Brent too, and he can add it in the thing below.
For sure.
That's my number one.
I haven't played Mansions of Madness. I know you are like in love with that game and whatever.
So I'm mad about it.
Yeah. I think my brother has Eldritch or no.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the Cthulhu mythos, right?
It's the Fantasy Flight version of it too, where they've kind of created their characters from Arkham Horror and then just kind of built on it. Some of them probably are from the Richard Garfield version, but they've kind of built their own. There's novels and things like that about it too. But yeah, it's just such a fun game that you can teach. Actually, we don't even teach it. We say, here's what you can do on your turn. Let's go. And we just kind of teach it as we go. And that's what's really great about it is you don't even teach the game. You just say, hey, let's check this out. Let's roll. So Mansions of Madness is number one. I was trying to, there was one more I'm missing that I wanted to mention as a honorable mention, but it's totally fallen out of my head. So, but anyway, Western Legends is my number one game of all time, but we didn't play it as much this year as I'd like. But I do have the new expansion over there waiting to play. So
you haven't even played it yet?
No. I haven't even unboxed it all the way yet.
That's
so
crazy.
I'm dying to get it to the table.
My kids are like, Dad, I'm hungry. I'm like, nope, not yet. Supper's not on the table. I got to open this box.
That's what I need to do.
So I gotta take a lesson from you in that regard. But
yeah.
my honorable mention, I'll leave with this: Whistle Mountain. Unbelievable game.
Oh yeah, it's right over there.
Oh, I love that game. And Honey Buzz. I got both those for.
I have not played Honey Buzz. I saw that and I want to check it out.
Honey Buzz is amazing. It's amazing. It's so good. So good. So good. Components are like unbelievable. And to think I paid like $10 more for that than I did like Point Salad.
Right.
Which is.
That's huge.
But,
that's a big difference.
Yeah. So, but thanks so much for taking the time there, Bryan.
Absolutely, man.
It's been a blast, and I hope 2022 is great for you and you play a ton of board games. And for those that want to know more about what you do, because you got dual reality here.
Yeah.
If you just give a little shout or a little blurb on what you do outside of board gaming.
Yeah. So Carl and I, we are illusionists. We travel all over to different churches and conferences and student events, all sorts of stuff across the states. Usually worldwide. When things pick back up, obviously we'll be back to doing that. But if you want to know more about our illusion show and what we do, it's BryanDrakeShow.com, or you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram at Bryan Drake Show. If you want to know more about the Dice Tower board game stuff that we do, check out Dice Tower Bryan on there, and we do 8 to 10 reviews a month on the Dice Tower main channel, all about board games.
Perfect.
Loving it.
Perfect.
So thank you, Brent. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem. Thanks for joining. And of course, if you want to know more about Cloudy with Chance of Meeples, we're on Facebook, Cloudy with the Chance of Meeples. And as I always say, grab your umbrella. The forecast is cloudy with a chance of meeples.